Yeah, that's what I tried to trace all the wires down.
Our new session today at 8 o'clock. It was pretty warm in the last couple of days, so we told the boys that we have to go to school at 8 o'clock today. And looks like Alpha is interacting with the two goats, Brownie and Beta, Brownie and Blackie. Beta is our feature today. Alpha's going along, but Beta is our feature. Repetition, repetition. We're going to be ground driving. Without mastering ground driving, I don't feel comfortable hooking them to a cart and sitting behind them with driving reins. So repetition, repetition. One more new thing today. Tavis has in his left hand a boselle. Could you hang it up so people can see who don't know horse tack? That's control on a horse's nose, not by putting a bit in the mouth, and it's rather unobtrusive. It's lightweight. Can I somehow make that boselle, with the actual boselle part is in Tavis's right hand, smaller to fit on the noses of my alpaca boys? Somehow, we're just now thinking about it, investigating, and we'll dedicate a show to it in the future. Michael, I'm afraid he's going to step on his lead line, and if they do, they might panic. They can't reason that, oh, all I have to do is move my foot. Okay, so, all right, one step at a time. Let's leave the boselle here with the other tack, and it will be the feature of another show. I'll put it here. It's we're not in the rainy season yet, but it's at our doorstep. So all this tack is going to have to be protected once the rains start. So let's start with, but you got to get the ground driving lines.
Put them on.
We've got some here.
Too much going on.
Say it again, please.
We'll put it on Alpha, but Beta, if I'm going to be trying to get on and off, it's going to be in the way.
Well,
it's not going to be hooked up if
oh, okay, then put it on Alpha. And Michael, you're going to be ground driving Alpha, and he should be okay. If he's not, then there's confusion, and we've got to figure out why. And then for Beta, as we lead him around, we're going to be putting weight in the saddle. I always have to think ahead, what's next in prerequisite skills for gaining confidence in my alpacas to be ridden and driven in front of a cart. And we're not in a rush to get there. We just want to be pretty confident we're going to get there. Now, Michael, just to review, when you want Alpha to go to the right, you do a tug with the right drive line. And you try not to ever pull. Okay, so will Beta accept 100 pounds on his back? Tavis is 200 pounds. We learned by doing this with Alpha that we definitely don't want 200 pounds on the back. Alpha got pretty upset with that, but half the weight, he was okay. And that's what the rhetoric is about alpacas. You can put kids on their backs that are no more than about 100 pounds.
Yeah, you want to hold it.
Okay, he's putting weight on. with Alpha, he actually swung that right leg over the saddle and kind of sat in it or stood next to it. Yes. Okay, Beta's a little bit upset. You can see how he's leaning. He's not sure what to do. I don't blame him. But we'll make them familiar. We'll give them confidence. There's a helicopter overhead. The boys' ears are definitely reacting. The goat boys are definitely interested in participating one way or another. All right, Tavis, are you going to be able to do that out in the back pasture without the step up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. Then we will proceed with our plan to get Beta and Alpha out to the pastures and the trails with ground driving lines and saddles on, and local citizens invited to join us, especially with their kids. Showing you how the goats are still interested, but they're munching. Now Alpha's gonna be ground driven by Michael behind Beta, and you're gonna lead line Beta, and we're gonna go to places other than this tacking area to put some weight on him. I'm gonna carefully walk with them, holding on to fences where I can, trying to keep the camera steady. I love seeing those saddles on their backs. Whoops, Michael's having a little bit of trouble. Uh-oh, a little bit of trouble with Alpha. And you know what? The saddle is starting to... You just please work around that tree. We've got to get things together here for Alpha. Okay, do you feel that the saddle is cinched up enough? Yeah, it's looking okay. Okay, one step at a time. One hose at a time. We've got our green grasses being extended here. No, not like that. Go. Yeah. Okay, you need an arm extension. Just a minute. He doesn't understand that, what you're doing. And yes, you just touched his sensitive spots, his hips and his legs. Okay, I'm going over here to get the longest arm extension I have. Just a piece of 1/4-inch PVC. Michael, I'll help with, even with the camera in my hand, but what you did with the reins, he doesn't understand. Or with the drive lines. And the goat boys are going with us. They followed my car all the way to the auto gate yesterday, and I was afraid that they were going to try to go through the gate. And I am surrounded by trails where no motor vehicles are allowed, so I wasn't too concerned about their well-being, but I didn't want them outside of my property. And they decided to stop before they got to the gate. And then when I got home after doing my chore, off property, they were still here in their usual place around the house. They don't want to go anywhere. And then the ranch Alpha's having a bit of an issue. And that's why we do this over and over and over again. We need to deal with these issues before we go out on those ranchos trails, 20 lineal miles outside of my 6-acre ranch, where no motor vehicles are allowed. But there'll be other issue-causing incidents. Okay, so he's stopping here at a sprinklerizer. He's going to put some weight, I hope, in the saddle. Now he could start spinning around. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think you even have to put your right leg down on the ground. You just have to put that thigh weight in the saddle. And I like the way he's standing there. His ears are back. He's not sure what's happening because this has never happened before in his back pasture. It's pretty quiet back here. There was a squirrel on a tree up ahead, but they don't seem to be focusing on that. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. This could be serious. He's upset, because the saddle is under his back. Okay, now we've got him. Okay, we are going to do this in smaller steps in the future. But you have now witnessed a training problem, an error that happened not because we weren't being careful, but maybe we took too big of a step. Okay. I wouldn't mind going back to the tacking area and put the saddle back on, but we're not going to come out here again today. That was too dramatic. We've got to let him, Beta, get comfortable again working with us. And you see, as a viewer, why I'm not going out to the Rancho's trails yet. I have seen similar things happening with large farm animals in my decades of working with horses. Okay, now you see, Beta is afraid even right now of the saddle pad. We actually need a couple more people, but I don't have any volunteers right now. I think it's due to the poor economy, which personally I don't think will be better for several years. Well, we got through that without anybody being hurt. And I'm glad we documented this on the Urban Alpaca Girl show. I'd like you to resaddle him, and if he's still too freaked out today, we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, we have another scheduled training tomorrow. We're going to give him time to feel better about what just happened.
Oh, here. I think. Yeah. It slips on. I think it does. Let me see. Where's it at? Yeah. Just slides right on. I think it's
Okay, Michael,
this one.
it's not a good idea to drop the line like that, because if he steps on it, he could freak out. That's why we need at least one extra person here for safety reasons. Okay, all right. Now let's see what he says about getting that monster back on his back. You see, now he's perceiving it as danger. He allowed Tavis to put it on him 10 minutes ago. No issues, but it hadn't attacked him 10 minutes ago. He doesn't know how to perceive what happened here. Okay, so far so good, but I can see his back legs are spread apart. I can see he's not sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to rebuild that confidence. Ears are back. Ears are back, so they're both not sure what they're doing right now. And then just take the lead line, Tavis, if you would, and just walk around very gently and quietly here in the training area.
Yeah.
We took too big of a step out there.
Yeah, I think so.
We're actually rather fortunate that nothing worse happened. Now we just have to rebuild the confidence, strengthen the prerequisite skills. And Tavis, if you with the lead line, just walk them around. And Michael, I think you can start unsaddling Alpha. He was reasonable. I'm sure he was concerned about his buddy. Yeah, and Beta is still concerned. I can see it in the way he's moving. Maybe walk him through the corridor, Tavis, a couple times. We have a corridor here where we train, where they're surrounded by rails and jump standards. Careful, the ground driving lines is on the ground. You see, he sure didn't understand what was happening, and that's why he started screaming. And I don't blame him. That was too big of a training, teaching step. Next time, maybe we'll do it with Alpha out there, because Alpha is a little bit more confident. And we'll ground drive Beta for training in ground driving while we're giving Alpha the saddle weight out in the open spaces. how can we expect to go out to the Ranchos trails unless we have confidence that what just happened with Beta is not likely to happen out there? You know how they like to be rubbed on their neck? Yes, good. Let's just calm them down. We're not in a rush. Okay, he's starting to munch. So I think he's psychologically getting better. Okay, I say we can now take the saddle off, and this was an excellent lesson. We learned what we can't do again. We have to do it in smaller prerequisite steps. And the question is there any way to, yeah, I think there is a way to keep these saddles on. If that ever happens again, we're going to need a breast collar, which will keep it on his back and it won't allow it to flip under like it did. I'll work on that too. That's all tack that I have to make smaller. I have all that tack from horses and cows, but it all has to be fitted right. Okay, here comes the sun. Tomorrow we're scheduled for 9, and I think we should be okay with the weather report. And we've got to start thinking about getting all this tack under cover for the rains that I believe are on their way. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Alpaca Girl. Sonia Sokolow at gmail.com.